Welcome to the ribbon cutting ceremony for the Appleton Public Library. I am Colleen Rortvedt, and I have the honor to serve as the director of this library. It is an absolute joy to welcome you all here today. This is the first program ever in the Mary Beth Nienhuis Community Meeting Room. And as we celebrate the opening of this extraordinary day, we are thrilled to have you here, the entire community. Thank you so much. Public libraries are foundational to our democracy and the principles of freedom. So before we begin, I'd like to invite you to join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Today, we stand on the land that has been home to generations of people who have gathered, learned, and shared their knowledge long before the city of Appleton was established. The city sits on the land that was the ancestral homeland to the Menominee and Ho-Chunk people. Over the centuries, this site has been home to various buildings, including liveries, stables, a school, a hotel, and Fire Station Number 1. Of course, the library has also changed over the years since it first became a publicly owned reading room in 1897. I encourage you to look at the displays assembled by our amazing staff in the Community First Credit Union Welcome Hall and join with past and future generations who have and will continue to learn, know, gather, and grow in this place. A project like this is never about just bricks and mortar. It's about the people who make it possible and the people it serves. The community has endured years of uncertainty, showing resilience, patience, and an unwavering belief in the value of this library. And when the time came, you embraced this project with enthusiasm and generosity. Libraries are places of contrasts. They're places of study and places of lively conversation. They're places of solitude, and they're places of shared experiences. Libraries hold ideas that challenge each other and expand our understanding of the world. This library is not about choosing one or the other. It's a place of and, not or. A place where all these things exist together to enrich our lives. But above all, it's about people. It's about the staff who make it welcoming, the community who gives it purpose, and the collaborations and partnerships who build something lasting with us. Our architects and engineers at Skidmore, Owings & Merrill and our builders at the Bolt Company have held that purpose close, working alongside us to create a space that reflects not just what the library is, but what the library can be. So today we open the doors to a building. But we also open the doors to a future that has wonderful possibilities. Now it is my pleasure to introduce our city's poet laureate, Catherine Copel. Good morning, everyone. Believe me, we do not get this kind of turnout at poetry readings. So I've got about 50 poems I'm in. No, I'm just kidding. I want to start with a poem that you'll see on the walls here by Ellen Court. Ellen was a mentor to many poets in the community and many people who are not poets. If you have the agenda, which was on your seats, you can read along on the back. The library. When we speak of hunger and thirst, it is good to say the word library. When we study the shape of an oak leaf or the way clouds swim in the river outside the window, how can we not speak of libraries? When we love the earth that gave its space for this building, books with their rich and luminous invitations. When we swing open the library doors and bask in the radiance of words, we enter a new world. What if we held hands, circled the library, called out the names of thousands of books, and they came down from the shelves and are with us, told us their stories. And what if the river sang those stories? The wind shook them against trees, and children shouted them to the stars. What if each time we say the word library, we speak of what we have loved and where we have lived? And now one more of mine. And I know libraries today are about so much more than books. They are really a place of gathering and community. But when I was a little girl, it was only books. And so I wrote this poem a little while ago, but it still fits. For the next 30 years. For the next 30 years, I would rather be a book. Safe on a shelf in a library with others safe on a shelf books. Spine, yoga straight and tall, freckles of bent gold softening my bent edges, the name of someone not too famous shaved across my chin. Carefully stocked, inventory cared for by a tiny, curled cataloger with carelessly tucked hair and eyes until borrowed and passed. From wife to husband to lover to friend, a secret to be told, held, feared, lived vicariously through. To be written about, kind words, harsh words, strong words that make others want to pick me up and shake me out. Used, bemused, discussed, diffused, discarded, tossed off for lost, found 30 years later, historically, heroically, by the aging kin of some kind of someone who had given me up and moved on. Reopened, reclaimed, refrained, a lasting tail in the trail of my dust, brushed lovingly away, tucked back longingly on a shelf, remembered in 30 years as a classic. Thank you. Next, I would like to invite to the podium Mayor Jacob Woodford.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It is so good to see all of you. I'm just thinking back to the last time I was in the library with a room full of people. It was in the mayoral election in an 11-way primary. We were in the basement. Now, I think it's safe to call that a basement. It was a basement. And there were so many people, and I remember looking at the back of the room, and there were windows at the back of the room. And I saw people come down the stairs and then turn around, because there was no room in that basement for any more people who wanted to be in space with all of us to be together in community. And that formed part of my resolve to get going on this project, because it underscored the need that we have in this community for a space where all people can come, all people can participate and be part of this community. And so I didn't write this down, it's just what came to mind looking at all of you. So it is such a pleasure to be with all of you and to be at this exciting day. So first, good morning and welcome to your Appleton Public Library. So forgive me, but I'd like to begin by offering some special greetings. First to members of the Appleton Common Council who are with us, the Library Board of Trustees, Appleton's 45th Mayor Tim Hanna is here, welcome. Elected officials, city employees, the Bolt Company and its contractors, our architects, Skidmore, Owings and Merrill, and their subconsultants, members of the Library Building Project Advisory Committee, friends of the Appleton Public Library, the Capital Campaign Committee, and our donors, and all of you. Today, We mark a generational accomplishment for our community, one that is 17 years in the making. We're finally here, thanks to the incredible effort and the faith kept by so many in seeing this project through. One such keeper of the faith is none other than our fearless, determined, and dauntless Appleton Public Library Director, Colleen Rortvedt. Today is perhaps the first day in her entire career with the library in which she's not contemplating what's next for the building project. So Colleen, congratulations, and thank you for your partnership and your dedication in this work. It's a privilege to serve alongside you. Director Rortvedt leads one of the most dedicated, caring, and able group of public servants I have ever known, the staff of the Appleton Public Library. Through the more than decade and a half this project has been discussed and then carried out, they have persevered with positivity and endurance. They have taught us time and again that great libraries are not actually about buildings at all. They are great because of the people within. Starting today, they now have a vessel that lives up to their excellence. The Friends of the Appleton Public Library, led by Kara Sullivan, have helped elevate this project from adequacy to excellence. They set out on an audacious capital campaign to support the library, and they did so with professionalism, strategy, and yes, a measure of luck. The library would not be what it is without their steadfast support and determination, and the people of Appleton thank them for their partnership. Another Appletonian whose generosity and talent and treasure has helped shape our community as we know it today. And he made this project one of his final contributions, Walt Rugland. Walt was a dogged advocate for this library, and he played an instrumental role in bringing the vision to life. I know he is smiling down on us today. Our architects at Skidmore, Owings, and Merrill took up this project as a labor of love. Without exaggeration, their firm has designed some of the most important buildings and civic spaces in the world. Their care and attention on this project and the firm's own contributions of time and effort made us feel as though the Appleton Public Library was every bit as important to them as Millennium Park, One World Trade Center, and the NATO headquarters. Thank you for helping us create a truly special public library for Appleton. To construct this project, we relied on Appleton's own Bolt Company. Since their founding in 1889, around the same time Appleton's library was being established, Bolt has built a reputation as an exceptional firm. And while their work today takes them all over the nation, Appleton is home. We are proud to have worked with them on this library and grateful for their commitment to seeing this project through, and to their innumerable builders and subcontractors for providing their labor and their talent to this building. Thank you. Well, we know, of course, that converting vision, design, and resources into physical reality on this scale requires the skill of a gifted leader. Dean Gaza, our director of the Department of Parks and Recreation, which oversees city facilities, is just such a leader. His expertise and good humor have helped guide every detail, and this library is one of many of his accomplishments. Thank you, Dean, for your extraordinary efforts. Of course, there are so many people who have poured themselves into this project. To each and every one of you, I extend our deepest gratitude for your care and support. I was elected as the second youngest person to serve as Appleton's mayor. The youngest was Herman Erb Jr., who served from 1897 to 1899. And as I've come to find out after some research, it was rumored that during his time in office and after, he was tormented by a public library project. Well, standing here before you today, I can proudly report that I am of sound mind, and in fact, I am filled with joy at the conclusion of this project. In all sincerity, I am so deeply grateful for the opportunity to be a part of this project. I've given you all the best of my efforts to the very limits of my capabilities, and this work we have done together will forever be a source of pride and inspiration in my life. This project has tested the resolve of our city. It has drawn on our every capacity to see through. And ultimately, we stand in the physical representation of who we are and what we believe in as a community. Thanks to the input of literally thousands of Appletonians, with special help from a dedicated group of volunteers on the Library Building Project Advisory Committee, the Friends of the Appleton Public Library, and the Library Board of Trustees, we have embedded our values and aspirations into every detail of this project and process. And one of the paradoxes of the public sector is that fidelity to process often outweighs the results we deliver. This library represents an example of what can happen when a beautiful process, however imperfect, delivers a result just as beautiful. I cannot thank our community and donors enough for your trust in us and your commitment to the project even when we faced enormous challenges, and we sure did. It is fitting that we are opening this new library so close to a day dedicated to lifting up love. As rare as it may be to hear a mayor say at the opening of a civic building, the truth is that this library project is infused with love. Those of us who've worked on this project and contributed to it have done so motivated by the love of our craft and the community we serve. Public libraries have never been more important than they are today. This nation was founded on and has been sustained on the principles of equality, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness for all people who have the good fortune to live here. Libraries are at the very nexus of American society, where people from every walk of life, in every stage of life, can find not only access to information, but also to connection with one another. In a time when we are perhaps tempted to turn away from one another, the library calls us to turn toward, to see in each other the fullness of the human experience and the incredible potential that joining together in community holds. We gather here today to dedicate this library as a monument to possibility, as an outward and visible manifestation of our community's belief in itself and aspirations for the future, and as a symbol of our commitment to building a community where every person is valued and supported in reaching their full potential. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And may this library serve as an enduring source of learning and community for generations to come. Thank you.
Next, I am pleased to introduce Alderperson and Council President, as well as Library Board Trustee, Katie Van Zeeland.
Good morning. Today marks a momentous occasion as we celebrate the grand opening of the Appleton Public Library. As a Library Board Trustee and President of the Appleton Common Council, it is my honor to speak on behalf of my fellow alders. I want to extend our sincere thanks to Mayor Woodford for his leadership on this project, and to city staff, especially Director Rordfed, Director Gaza, and Director Oman for their invaluable guidance. I also want to recognize the Friends of the Appleton Library, whose dedication and generosity helped make this dream a reality. And of course, we can't forget our partners at SOM and Bolt, whose construction and design expertise were invaluable. To all who contributed, whether through advocacy, donations, or volunteerism, this building is a lasting symbol of your commitment and hard work. For over 15 years, multiple common councils, dedicated alders, city leaders, and community advocates worked hard to keep this vision alive, each building upon the efforts before them. But today, I want to shine a spotlight on my colleagues who saw this project through to completion. Despite obstacles like a pandemic, supply chain issues, and record inflation, this council persevered. Approving the investment in a complex remodel took courage, as did being fiscally responsible in approving a scaled back budget when the bids came, or scaled back building when the bids came back over budget. You made tough but necessary decisions to ensure we remained ambitious, but also prudent with taxpayer dollars, and that takes real leadership. Thank you. More importantly, we remain steadfast in our commitment to creating a library that not only meets our statutory requirements, but also serves the diverse and growing needs of Appleton. This is a space for everyone. Children discovering the magic of books, students seeking a quiet place to learn, job seekers, entrepreneurs, lifelong learners, and so many others. Designed with innovation in mind, this library will continue to evolve with our community for years to come. Being an elected official does not come with many perks, believe it or not, or much praise, but our names will be attached to this building for generations, and the work we have put in has a real concrete legacy that will last for long after we are gone, and that is something we should take pride in. I actually asked my colleagues if they could stand to be recognized, please. Most days, being an elected leader is a thankless job, but today we thank you. While the process to get here today was complicated, for the people who will use its services, the library will be, as they say, an open book. First Lady Lady Bird Johnson once said, "Perhaps no place in any community is so totally democratic as the town library. The only entrance requirement is interest." Libraries bring people together from all backgrounds, united by curiosity and a shared pursuit of knowledge. In that same spirit, a common council made up of diverse perspectives and ideologies came together, not just to debate, but to listen, learn, and lead. We set aside differences, educated ourselves on our responsibilities and the needs of our citizens, and found the best path forward to solve problems and make this vision a reality. We reached consensus because we all recognized one fundamental truth: this library was worth it. Let that be a lesson not only for future councils, but for all of us. When we work together, stay open to learning, listening, and changing our minds, we build something stronger, something lasting, and something for everyone. As we cut the ribbon on this long-awaited project, let's celebrate not just the building before us, but the spirit of collaboration, dedication, and progress that made it possible. Let's celebrate a shining example of government getting stuff done. Again, thank you to everyone who has made contributions to this project, large and small.
And next, I'd like to introduce Senior Associate Principal of Skidmore, Owings and Merrill, Jason Fisher.
Good morning, everyone. Hi, my name is Jason Fisher, and I'm an architect at Skidmore, Owings and Merrill in Chicago. And I'm just really, really proud to be here with all of you. Excuse me. Including my wife and my family, my parents. Thank you. I really love being an architect, and I really love libraries. As a kid, I spent hours here in this library, reading, exploring, and finding a good spot to hang out. Most often it was in the reading train. Does everyone remember the reading train? Well, be sure to check out the new version of the reading train in the reading nooks in the lower level in the children's area. You'll also be able to see some very beautiful watercolor artwork of local animals. And speaking of art, I experienced and discovered art in this building as well, displayed in the atrium, in the children's area, and throughout the collection space. Since then, my passion for art and design has continued to grow. I was telling Colleen yesterday that the very first time I used a search engine on a computer was in this library. Just around the corner, there was a column with a couple of computers there. And many years later, we are using the most advanced digital design to create and visualize the designs that you see today. It's really incredible how powerful libraries are. I realized that a handful of summer days, field trips, and family visits to the building had shaped my life. Over the years, I worked on a wide range of projects across the globe, but it has been a true honor and privilege to be back in Appleton working on this project with all of you. In the design studio, we often ask ourselves, what makes a library great? Aesthetics, daylight, comfort, flexibility. Yes, these are all very important. They matter a lot. In fact, we have plenty of those features, a geothermal system for heating and cooling, particularly important on days like today and days like the groundbreaking where it was super hot. We have skylights and windows bringing in plenty of natural light. We have a new multi-function spaces, including the one that we're standing in right now. We have the learning stair. I walked by there this morning and saw a concert, and it made me quite emotional. But the only real measure of a great library is if the community loves it. And what we are most proud of is that we designed this building with the community. So many people that I see here today have been a critical portion of the design process. Through presentations at City Hall, community meetings, focus group sessions, staff workshops, and informal discussions directly with patrons, the ownership of the design we see today is shared. And the result is a space where everyone is welcome, a place for people of all ages and backgrounds. And in particular, I'm looking at my parents. My mom just checked out a book today. My niece and nephew, they should come as much as possible. My brother and his wife, they should also come as much as possible. My wife was working here this morning. So on behalf of a very talented set of designers and engineers at SOM, we're just very honored and proud to be part of this journey, and we hope that this building continues to serve future generations to come. Thank you very much.
And next up, I am pleased to introduce Tom Bolt, Chairman of the Board of the Bolt Group.
Good morning, everyone. What a great Wisconsin day, right? On behalf of the Bolt building team, I'd like to congratulate the mayor and the council of the city of Appleton for their leadership as champions for this renovation project. Very special thanks also go to the Friends of the Appleton Public Library. Your ability to share the public library's story passionately was key to your fundraising success. Believing deeply in the importance of a public library and its many services led to your successful campaign work. Your tireless efforts to raise $12 million in private funds from hundreds of large and small donors is truly historic. We know the community has been anxiously awaiting this day to see what a library in the 21st century looks like. I hope you will be pleased with the results. What you see did not come easily. It was the careful planning on the part of Colleen and the library staff, Dean Gaza and city officials, the architects SOM, and the many trade partners and their dozens of skilled craftsmen and women who converted an already popular community asset into the building and its spaces you see today. This forward thinking will serve our community and beyond for years to come. I'd like to give special recognition to several people who helped immensely in making today possible. When the history of this project is documented, their fingerprints will be all over its success. First, to Linda Danelski, who served as our project manager. Her attention to detail, professionalism, grit, and positive attitude lifted the entire team to overcome many challenges to realize this beautiful new space. Our superintendent, Bob Arndt, coordinated the daily planning, huddles, and problem solving continuously. He demonstrated amazing creativity to deliver the work we were responsible for, as well as helping the geothermal, electrical, mechanical, plumbing, painting, and other specialty firms finish their work with precision and pride. This was a true team effort where many helped and everyone succeeded. Linda and Bob were supported by others on the Bolt team, Tim Huffman, Alex Steens, Hannah Jaguar, and Amy Stoker, and there were many, many others that were behind the scenes. So I know you're here, Linda and Bob, so could you stand, please, so we could recognize your amazing work. There you are. Thank you so much. This space will forever be a tangible example of your fine work and sweat and tears. Recently, I had the chance to talk with Mayor Jake about the progress of the library, and he said how beautiful the building looked at night. Like many of you, I too have driven by, seen the building lit up, and wondered what your reaction would be to the new improved library. It reminded me of Robert Louis Stevenson's Treasure Island. It might be like the excitement Jim Hawkins had when he first saw the treasure in Ben Gunn's cave. Jim discovered great heaps of coins, jewels, and quadrilaterals built of bars of gold, which glinted in the torchlight like a million fireflies. Our new library is a treasure chest to be rediscovered. It is filled with invaluable books, media, news, programs, and services inside and outside these walls, meeting and creation spaces, and thought-provoking ideas for all ages. Most importantly, it is staffed with knowledgeable and committed staff, enthusiastically waiting to serve all who enter these doors. Please tell your friends and neighbors about the treasures you will find here today and tomorrow and in the future of this new space. It's for all of us, and we are so proud to have been a part of the Appleton Public Library's rebirth. Thank you.
All right, and next up, I am pleased to introduce Nancy Mickey, President of the Friends of the Appleton Library Board of Directors.
Thank you. Thank you. And I saw everybody put this in because I think it's going to be just right for me. Albert Einstein said, "The only thing you absolutely have to know is the location of the library." And today, we're all here together. On behalf of the Friends Board and our Executive Director, Kara Sullivan, and all the supporters of our library throughout this exciting and busy time, we thank you. Appleton has a history of launching successful public-private partnerships to provide valuable resources for our community. This beautiful library was an opportunity for an historic investment in our community's future. Along with the City of Appleton's commitment to the project, the Friends of the Appleton Public Library took on the challenge to raise $12 million with our Building Beyond Words campaign to ensure that this library had the needed features and enhancements to serve and advance the community. We're thrilled to announce last week that our goal has been met. And it is because of the generosity of our community. So here are some fun facts about the capital campaign. There are 625 total donors. Our largest gift was $3 million, and our smallest gift was $5 in cash from an anonymous donor. 88% of the support came from individuals or charitable foundations. The Appleton Public Library staff raised over $10,000. That deserves applause. We had group gifts from book clubs, retiree groups, and service clubs. And not to be forgotten, 3 local children hosted a lemonade stand last summer and raised $185. We express our thanks to the Capital Campaign Committee who worked tirelessly to reach out and share our story and garner the support for the project. This committee was comprised of volunteers who made our $12 million goal a reality. Being on the Friends of the Library Board has allowed me to hear countless stories of why people love libraries, what they meant to them as children, how they've enriched their families, and in many cases, how libraries have changed their lives. My friend Joe Mothy said, "I have loved libraries my whole life. Who you meet there, what you see, what you read, what you take home. It's this bigger world that's available to all of us that wouldn't be." And our lead donor, Brad Smith, said at our groundbreaking, "Support for the Appleton Public Library is an investment in the entire community. It is really a crown jewel for Appleton. One of the great things about crown jewels is that great things happen around them. This will be a new and positive anchor in the Appleton community. Now our crown jewel is here for everyone. Thank you."
All right, next up is Margie Mann, the president of the Appleton Public Library Board of Trustees.
Good morning, everyone. I have the privilege and the luck of being the president of the Board of Trustees on this fine, fine day. Every one of you probably has a story about the library and what it means to you. Today I thought I'd share a little bit about my journey with the library. It started at my mother's side about 100 years ago, walking up the steps of the old library in Sturgeon Bay. Once inside, I knew I had a place for me. So many books, so many stories, so many adventures. I remember vaguely when we built a new library in Sturgeon Bay, lots of debate, and probably a number of years until it became a reality. When that library was done, it became a warm, quiet place for me to study or to meet with my friends. As we raised our children here in Appleton, my husband was the primary caregiver of our girls, and the library became a very regular and joyous outing for them, often several times a week, sometimes every day, every week. It was a place for programs, reading and picking out movies for the weekend. And yes, they hunted wild animals in the atrium and took trips on the train. As we enjoyed our library as a family, my parents' library continued to be an important part of their lives. My mom and her quilting group met there every week, and soon my dad was attending Parkinson's support group meetings there. No trip to Sturgeon Bay was complete unless we stopped at the library. Each time we walked in, the happy memories flooded back. It was always a really good feeling. When I was asked to join the Board of Trustees 7 years ago, my mom had unexpectedly died, and I felt that this opportunity was a tap on my shoulder from my mom herself. I had been an older person when the Bluff site was under consideration, and this was a wonderful way that I could help support as we looked ahead for our library. I was thinking about what I could say today, and my mom was at my side again, reminding me of the power of hope. Hope for a better future. Her memory reminded me of how our beloved Appleton Public Library has always been here for our community as a safe, warm, welcoming place for all, and a beacon of hope for many. Literacy and learning are the fuel for hope for a brighter future. And while some people will say that hope is not a strategy, I remember the wise words of my German mother, "Ach, without the hope, you cannot build the strategy." And she was right. Now our library will continue its mission that has been so successful for so many people for so many years in a brand new building, refreshed and ready for our future here in Appleton. Thank you, APL staff, city staff, alderpersons, friends, our donors, our patrons, my fellow present and past board members, OWLS, Bolt, SOM, and our countless tradespeople who have made this building possible. My heart is full today. You have proven once again that hope is beautiful and the fuel for a bright future. Congratulations.
Thank you, Marguerite. That was beautiful. And last on our speakers list is Representative Lee Snodgrass and Representative Chris Alfheim, who adjusted her schedule to make sure she could be here.
Thank you, everybody. I am speechless, honestly, to see such a crowd on a snowy day here. I was joking before when I first arrived that in government, it is very rare to see the fruition of large projects. So I encourage all of the alderpersons and mayors and elected officials, past and present, to hold this in your heart because the experience is rare indeed. I'm joined by Senator Chris Alfheim, and we are here with a legislative proclamation, which I'm going to give her to read. It will be her first time reading a proclamation as an elected official. I've read a few. Before I do that, I know we're getting to the ribbon cutting and it's getting a little long. I just wanted to share one perspective as somebody who has been a longtime library user. In fact, when I came in today, I had a bag of books that I was slipping into the return lot, and a friend who's here took my picture and said, "You really do use the library." And please forgive me, they were 3 months late. But I wanted to reflect on the environment that we're in right now, both nationally and statewide. It is a time of deep division and a time where I think people can feel lost and frustrated. And the library is the balm for that. The library is a place where all ideas, all backgrounds, everything you bring as a person that is unique to you and you bring into this space, everybody is welcome at the library. I sat over here looking out at Fox Commons and I was thinking how the word common really reflects and how wonderful it is to see that out these windows of what we all have when we come to the library. We have a common desire to seek out knowledge, to seek out community, to seek relationships, to seek information. And I am so pleased and privileged to have played a small part in that over the years. And without further ado, Senator Alfheim is going to read the proclamation.
Thank you, Representative. It is such a joy to be here as a lifelong learner and getting to be part of this community and coming in on the tail end. This is such a great joy. So thank you, Representative, for sharing the moment with me. So State of Wisconsin citation by the Assembly. Know you by these present. Whereas, in 1887, Elizabeth Jones led the first successful attempt at a community reading room providing materials, donation of books, magazines, and newspapers, and whereas, in 1897, the Free Library Association donated materials that were approved by common councils to form a public library in Appleton. And whereas in 1900, Appleton finished the construction of his first municipal building at 121 South Oneida Street, containing the library on the first floor. And whereas over the next century with the establishment of the Outagamie Wapaka Library System and significant capital investments in 1950s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. The library grew so much as a utilized community asset, as evidenced by over 500,000 items checked out and over 165,000 library visits in 2022. And whereas the City of Appleton and the residents of the surrounding Fox Cities communities depend on the Appleton Library as a vibrant, diverse, and welcoming community resource and gathering space beyond the available collections and technological assets. And whereas the new Appleton Public Library is the long-awaited culmination of the City of Appleton Library Board and staff, friends of the Appleton Public Library, key private donors, and community members. And whereas the Appleton Public Library, as a much-loved and utilized public resource dedicated to the growing demand for innovative programming and services, celebrates its grand reopening on February 15th, 2025. Now, therefore, Representative Lee Snodgrass, on behalf of the Wisconsin State Assembly, with the concurrence of Senator Kristen Dassler-Elfheim under Assembly Rule 97, hereby congratulates the Appleton Public Library on the opening of its new library, signed by Representative Lee Snodgrass, Representative Robin Voss, Representative Kevin Peterson, and Senator Kristen Dassler-Elfheim.
There you go. Congratulations.
Representative Snodgrass, Senator Alfheim, thank you so much. And that is a testament to reading right there. All right, so this is the big moment. You may be wondering where the ribbon is. One moment, please.